Well, my name is Melissa. I am the founder of the Iowa Wallet, and today we're going to talk about budgeting, how to budget. Yay! So, really quickly, I am going to go through what all should be in a budget, what all, um, everything involved with the budget. So, what is a budget? Why do we budget? How do we make a budget? All that jazz. And I'm actually going to show you on my computer screen as I kind of type out the numbers of my expenses to kind of show you all what would be entailed with a budget. So, sorry, I sprayed something in here and now it's a little overpowering. But, hey girl, hey. That's my fave there. Hey girl. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So, what is a budget? And I kind of, excuse me, kind of talked about this in one of my posts, I believe, about what a budget is. So, a budget is basically a financial plan for a defined future. So, it could either be for a year, it can either be for 2 years, it can be for 3, 4, 5. It just depends on the individual, what their goals is, and etc. So it's also a way of tracking how you spend your money. So, for instance, I budget for gas every 3 months. Well, obviously everybody needs gas, right? But it's that's not something that's going to end in a year because I'm not getting a Tesla right now. Right, you got to do that. But it is something that can be over time or a short period of time. So it can also be a means of action for a larger purchase. So for people, a lot of times say they want to budget for going on vacation. They want to budget for, excuse me, they want to budget for traveling or doing fixing up their home, different expenses. So they literally will save or cut out certain things in order to make purchase something that they normally would not have. So that's how we do a budget. That is what a budget is. Let me rephrase. So why do we budget is a whole different thing. So there's several reasons why we budget, right? There's either a goal backed behind it. There is different. You want to get a hold of your money, trying to figure out where do you spend your money. You want something really bad that you know. Budgeting is the kind of way of the non-formal way of instant gratification, right? Because you're building yourself to save for this large thing or this small thing, and if you feel as though that as you're budgeting, like you're like, man, I kind of don't want this anymore, then you probably didn't need it in the first place. But that's another conversation for another day. Another reason why we budget is because you gain more money literally when you start to budget. So as you crunch numbers and see like, all right, well, I spend X, Y, and Z on this much this month. So you're more likely to cut that out if it's too large, or if it's too large. Now, if it's too small, you're more likely to increase. So let's see. So in the comment box, I know there's some people on here. Write down, why do you budget? If you don't budget, that's perfectly fine. You can just write, I don't budget, Melissa. And I mean, it happens to everybody. Another question that I normally get is like, where does so and so fit on my budget? We're going to go through that today. I have my monitor up so I can actually type out what you all should be budgeting and the different categories of a budget. Let me think. Any other common questions regarding a budget? Go along with, what if I don't have enough money? So what if I am making less than I spend? Then there really needs to be some form of looking at what you're doing wrong as far as what you're spending your money on, how you're spending your money, how often you're spending it based upon when you get paid. And the other factor is you're just not making enough in the job that you're in. So it may be time to find either a side hustle or a new job altogether. So for those that are joining in now, just a recap, my name is Melissa and I am the founder of the Iowa Wallet. And our main purpose, our main mission is to help you find money in accounts that you never knew you had. And a lot of times people tend to think that, they look at the numbers and they get super overwhelmed. Like, oh my God, what is this right here? And it's not, budgeting can be very fun because then you look forward to more, right? That's essentially what it is. You find more money in accounts that you never knew that you had in the first place. So it all ties together, but you have to be able to do it consistently, consecutively, and repetitively. So as I'm going to go ahead and flop screens. Let me get myself comfy. Let me swap this really quickly. All right, so I'm going to turn you to this. Hopefully everybody can see the screen. Boom. I love how it has a zoom feature on it. All right, so we're going to go through what a budget would look like. So the first thing, let me make sure my computer here is centered. Something isn't right. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to look to go into, hopefully everybody can see that. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. I know I've mentioned this several times in the live and any other thing that I've been on. Excuse me. I don't think got to me as strong, is the 4 walls. All right. So I'm an Excel junkie. I'm going to go ahead and say that now. If you're not familiar with Excel, don't worry. This will kind of teach you just a hair of what it entails. All right. So the 4 walls. So the first thing you want to include is your housing, right? So where you live. I hate to sound old, but I'm going to say living quarters. Because some people live in apartments, some people rent a house, some people bought a house. Everybody's different. So I just want to make sure I'm catering to the peoples. All right. So the next thing after the 4 walls are your utilities, because essentially, if you're in a house, then you have utilities, or if you're in an apartment, you have utilities. Whether that is, and I'm gonna probably clean this up a little bit because I'm not liking this so far. So water, electricity, and don't judge my spelling. It's been one of those days. Electricity, water, electricity, gas. What else would you include into that? Let me see. Water, electricity, gas, trash, internet, cable, if it's applicable. I know a lot of people we'll just do this, streaming services. All right. And let's see, going the wrong way. Let's see, what else? There's a slew of things that you can include in that, but that's just part of the 1, 2, and the third thing, which I might actually go down here. The third thing is food. Because a lot of people tend to forget that they got to eat every month. So, excuse me, food to include if I can spell, groceries. You may include dining out. And I don't know how it's food, maybe donations or something like that, but that would be the 3rd category. The 4th category. And these are just the 4 most important things that you need to have in your budget. And sorry, my table's shaking. It's just because I'm moving on the table. The last thing you need is transportation. All right. So transportation goes into anything related to transportation, whether it be your car, whether it be car insurance, whether it be bus, train, or rail fees. I don't know. I forgot what it's technically called. Let me think. What else goes into car maintenance? All right. So those are just an example. Come on, computer. There we go. We're just going to zoom out a little bit so everybody can see. So those are just the 4 main. Let me just do the most with that one. Boom. This did not need to be highlighted. All right, so those are your 4 main categories of what you need to be budgeting for. So your house, your utilities, transportation, and food. Now, I know I mentioned this beforehand. I think in my last live is that if you do not have, or if you don't budget for one of these areas, another area will lack, right? So that means you necessarily, you're living in your house, you live in an apartment, you live somewhere, great, you're paying your utilities, that's good. Transportation, boom, you got it all taken care of. If you are missing the food piece, your budget is not completed. And I say that because no one should go starving, or no one should be lacking thereof if it's available to them, right? So making sure that you have all four, because the four items here provide safe haven, right? So providing safe haven in a house, because you have a roof over your head. Utilities, it provides you with warm or cold air. Excuse me. Gas and trash. Internet allows you to potentially be able to work from home if you have that ability, or it allows you to be able to do a slew of things to bring additional income in, or bring just a awareness of safety in. I don't know. Everybody's different in their understanding, or their, what's the word I'm looking for? Something along the lines. I sprayed too much. Oh my gosh. The next thing is food. So you're not living if you have food. I know one time I saw, I can't remember what show it was. I think it was a documentary or something like that. That Americans, it's so sad that Americans that don't have money will survive on dog food. And that ruptured my soul, because I personally could not imagine eating dog food, because I could not afford groceries. And it just kind of goes to show the craziness of the reality that some people are living in, as far as debt and having the funds to be able to pay for things such as that. So that really made me really, 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 really sad. And it just kind of reinforced, like, regardless of anything that's going on, I need to have groceries. I need to have non-perishables in the house or wherever I am. Okay. Soapbox. But transportation next is another huge thing that people pay attention to, but not necessarily pay attention to. Like, yeah, if you have a car, obviously these three, let me highlight them. Oh, no. That. These three things are going to be the more expensive than just if you had a bus or a rail fees or whatever. Let me not put that in blue. So everybody's going to be different on what they owe, what they spend, right? But these, hopefully you all are taking notes, but these are 4 things that you need to have within your budget. The next thing I'm going to show, ooh, that hurt my eyes a little bit. Actually, let me just do this, make life easier. We're going to scroll down. So now I'm going to show you all the different categories you should have in your budget. All right. So the first thing, let me start over here. Obviously we have home, but what all entails with having the home budget, right? So drop some, let me see, I got a few people on here. Go ahead and drop some things that you would consider that you would put in your home budget. I'm going to type some things on here, but I want to see what you all have, or if you all, what are some things that are important to you in your home budget? So I'm going to go ahead and go mortgage. Hopefully I spelled that right. Yep. Mortgage and rent. All right. Let's see. Property tax, but this is only applicable if you have a home. The next thing is house, APT, insurance. I should just put insurance because everyone should understand insurance. Maintenance. Come on. You forgot a letter. Maintenance. Excuse me. Repairs. Okay. Another thing, well, we kind of included that up there, but trash, water, homeowners association fees. That's a good one. Homeowners association. That's what they are. Homeowners. Let me stop. Homeowner association. I hate homeowner association fees. My mom actually lives in a place where they collect homeowner association fees, and it just makes me throw up on the inside. Because I'm just like, I know with homeowner association, you have to, they do a lot of stuff for the community, for the homes and yada, yada, yada. But I just see it as a restriction. Like, if anybody knows me, I'm very much of a free bird, free spirit. So I'm like, whatever I want to do to my house, I'm going to do it. But with the homeowner association, you cannot do that. You have to stay within the guidelines, and I just don't be really about that life. So, excuse me. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of fill in. I'm very much of a transparent person, so I don't care, like, if someone, I'm going to put in my numbers or kind of finagle some of these numbers, okay? So these are some things that I noticed that I have seen that people pay within the home category, right? So mortgage and rent. So my mortgage, my rent, whatever, is $1,250. Property tax, I don't pay. Insurance, I have no idea, because I think I paid that at the beginning of the year, and I really can't remember the exact amount. I don't pay for repairs. Trash, I don't. Let me take that back. I do pay for trash, but I don't know how much I pay. I guess we'll just say $16. Water is included in my rent. I don't have a home association fee. This is a little bit much, but that's the reality of life. Internet, I guess I pay that. I guess I only pay, So I'm cheap too. let me rephrase. I'm not cheap. I'm very frugal. So we're going to add up all of this together. Ooh, that is not what I thought I would do. We're going to add that up together. And just kind of go down the line and boop, boom. So that's how much I owe in the home area. All right. So the next category, I'm going to make it simple based upon what we talked about earlier as far as the 4 groups. Food. All right. So there was actually one point in time when I was, let me actually move my little device. Boom. Ooh, look at there. That looks so much better. Okay, perfect. There we go. All right. So there was actually a time in my grocery budget that I was only paying $100 a month. I don't even think it was $100. I think it was actually $50 to $75 a month on groceries. That's when I kind of, it's tough times out here. Let's see, dining out I barely even do, so we'll just say $40 for the month. Now, mind you guys, this is all for the entire month. So let me kind of zoom out a little bit. This amount is for the entire month. Okay, that's not doing what I wanted to do. There we go. Okay. Move this over just a hair. Perfect. All right, so that is my food budget. Well, this is not reality. So now I pay $200 a month for food. And the way I do that is by going to Costco, going to BJ's, going whatever bulk of a grocery store that you have, and kind of making it work. So let's see. So $2.99. I'm gonna actually take that out because that's not right. So a little hack here for the streaming service. Our family kind of shares all sorts of streaming services as best as we can, and the only one that I pay for, hopefully they don't see this and get upset, is I only pay for Hulu. But every time I pay for Hulu, I always go for the Black Friday deal. If you go for the Black Friday deal, it is only $1.99 for a whole entire year. And every year, I do the $1.99 subscription. And I just change out my email addresses, change out whatever card I use so they don't get hip to my schemies. So yeah, that's kind of a tidbit. Let's see. The next thing, I'm going to go into this because I know some people can relate. Personal care. All right. So in the comment box, if you're still with me, go ahead and write down what are some things that you would want in your personal care budget. So I know for me, clothing, which is kind of a huge deal, a little bit. I don't spend much on clothing like I used to. But I know for a fact that if I needed to go to the thrift store, it's always available to me. So my clothing budget for the month is just let's increase that, $40. Let's be realistic a little bit. Okay, I hope that you all can see this. Make this a slightly not as big. There we go. Okay, so $40, and then let me think. Beauty supply, that is a thing. There's always some new hair product or something out in the market. So I would probably say about $20. That might be a stretch, but $20 a month on beauty supplies. The next thing, this is a question that I answered today. Fun money. So I kind of want you guys to see me face. So fun money, it's not a bad thing to have. Like, I know everyone's different on what they spend their money on, but if you have fun money, it's okay to spend it. It's okay to blow money in your budget, but not to the point where it's like $200-$300 as far as fun money goes. You have to have balance, right? So balance includes going to eat, going to an amusement park, maybe. It depends on where you live. Going to the beach, right? Going to the park. Those are easy things that you can do, but you don't have to spend a lot of money on them, right? Going to the movies, that's fun. I mean, with COVID and everything, but it's still fun, right? So be honestly realistic with yourself, but then also know what your goals are, because my goal may be different than your goal, and your goal may be different from their goal, and their goal may be different than from them goal. I don't know. So for this one, I'm going to swap back again. For this one, I'm just going to put $50 because I talked about putting $50 max into that budget. Okay. So let me see. Where are we? So another one, specialized services. So I put specialized services here because everyone may get their nails done. They may go get their hair done. They may go get a spa treatment, right? So budgeting for that is super important within your numbers, okay? So I'm just going to do randomly $100. Well, actually, if we're doing this is for me. This might sound horrible, but I don't spend my money on getting services done. Again, frugal frally here to kind of put a damper on people's things, Let's see. So the next thing is family items. So as a family, what do you spend your money on? So I think of children when I think of this category. So clothing, education, some other things to include. Clothing could be $30 for the kids. I honestly don't know because I don't have any kids. We'll just do 50. I have no idea. Education, we'll say 50 as well. Daycare, that could be a whole expense within itself. We'll just say $400. And books could be another thing. Okay, excuse me. So this is our family budget here. Now, like I said, everybody's going to be different, but let me actually zoom out. But the main important thing is that you are budgeting based upon what you spend your money on. So instead of family, since it's just me and my family, what I would do is not even include that into my budget because it doesn't relate to me. So a thing that I would include in my budget is pet stuff, because I do have a little baby Shih Tzu mix and he can become very expensive. So let's dive into the pet area. Let's see. So I'm going to put pet here. Oops. Pet. And the first thing is food. woo! I used to spend a ton of money on food for my little man. But then I started to become smarter. Instead of buying little small bags of food, I upgraded to larger bags, so maybe about like 30 pounds, maybe 30 pounds ish. Um, I think so, yeah, 30 pounds worth of food. And then we then upgraded to the 42-pound bag of food because I'm like, I'm not going to the store every week just to get you food. So his bag of food that we have now, we got it from Costco, and it's 42 pounds for, I think it was like 50-ish something dollars. I can't remember the exact amount, but the thing is, I have not, that was back in early February, I want to say. Yeah, that was back in early February when I bought that bag. And we are now, it'll probably be maybe the beginning of April when I'll have to go get another one. So that bag actually was worth the buck because I paid only $50 for 2.5 months worth of food. Okay. So you have to look at things based on how much you need them, how much you eat it, etc. Okay. So grooming, he's pretty expensive to groom. So he, unfortunately, when I got him, I did not realize how much of a grooming dog he was. And grooming, how much does it cost to get him groomed? It costs, we'll just say a range of $60 every month. But I don't get him cut every month. I wash him, clip his nails, brush his teeth, clean his ears. But when it comes to the scissors and actually cutting his hair off, I'll leave it to the professionals. That's not my area of expertise. Insurance. Now I can't tell you how much this is, but I want to say it's like $500 a year or something along those lines. I've already paid it off so that I won't have to worry about paying it monthly. Medical, he used to be expensive, but I just now I've refused to take him anywhere that he doesn't need to go. So medical, we used to spend close to $100 every time I take him to the hospital for the smallest things, and it was just very much annoying. Toys, he doesn't get a lot of toys like he used to, but we can just say $20 because that's super easy. Now Now this is not right because obviously I don't pay this every month, so that's kind of not right either. But what I do is I will put money onto what I do. Oop, I did not do what I thought I would do. You're playing with my hair. What I do with his money is I put it on a Visa gift card. And with that Visa gift card, we spend as needed. So I'm just going to do one of those numbers and see. So this is his gift card that is specifically for him. I should have write his name on it, but I know that anytime the orange card comes into play, anytime it revolves around my dog. So that's an example. And let's see. So this one is kind of one of my favorite lines to budget for. I'm going to show you guys. Entertainment. Everybody loves to go out and have fun, but that thing will catch up to you with the quickness. So here's the first line, electronics. So video gaming, anything like that. That's what I look at when I budget for. I don't really have a lot of electronics, so I don't really kind of budget in that area. Travel, vacation. This is one of my favorites because I love to travel and I love to vacate when I can. So if I'm going somewhere and I have it planned, I will budget $100 a month until I get to that destination. Or if I need to bump it up, I go to $150. Or if I need to, go to $200. It just depends on where I'm going and what I'm doing.